had an assignment, they completed the assignment, but there is still an issue with this car. 2025 BMW M3 Competition. This is the G80 generation. And the question today is, let's say you have around 100K, maybe a little bit less to spend on a daily driver. Should this be the enthusiast choice? We're powered by the S58 engine. That's a 3-liter inline-6 twin turbocharged engine, making 523 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque, mated to, of course, the ZF 8-speed torque converter transmission. She's no lightweight, weighing in right around 4,000 pounds with the xDrive. That's the all-wheel drive. MSRP is starting at $86,000, but you can easily option it over 100K with options. In terms of mod list, we have active Autowerke midpipe, engine and transmission tune, a catted downpipe, Millway monoballs, camber plates, and SPL adjustable tie rods. As always, full mod list is down in the description. And I'm curious to hear what you guys think of this blue. Leave a comment below. Getting into the interior, you already know that it's going to be screen galore because that's what we're getting with the current gen BMWs. We've set up our M1 configuration as such. We have DSC and MDM mode. Gonna start it a little bit softer, and then we'll ramp things up from there. So you press it once, get that, confirm, and now we see M1 on the top right of the dash there. I'm digging the Alcantara wheel, but gotta keep in mind, Alcantara requires a bit of maintenance and upkeep to keep it from getting matted. So it's getting there a little bit. Now we know the G80 is incredibly capable, but it's also a little bit numb. And I'm wondering if these mods today are gonna change it so that we can get the best of both worlds. Capable, still comfortable, but a little bit more communication and feel. Right now we're in comfort mode, and you gotta remember, because the car weighs almost 4,000 pounds, even in comfort mode, they have to have this thing pretty stiffly sprung in order to have decent body control. And I have to keep in mind that the dampers are only so adjustable, right? You're not gonna have complete luxury S-Class to dedicated sports car track weapon. Let's start getting these a little bit more aggressive now. Holy shit, dude, this thing is a rocket. Oh my god, dude. This is supercar performance. These things are insane, especially with the all-wheel drive. It puts the power down so effortlessly. Rear end wanting to step out there briefly. And they've tuned that ZF 8-speed so that it really kicks you in the back with every shift, adds a little bit of drama, makes you forget that you're driving around in a torque converter. It's just so well tuned with the S58. You can hear that burble tune, which I'm sure is gonna be very polarizing in the comments, but let's keep it civil, boys. You know, one thing that's surprising me is last time I drove a G80 M3, I thought that the steering ratio was way too fast as an artificial way to make the car feel more responsive. But here it actually feels okay. It doesn't feel overly quick. And I wonder if that's just a matter of me getting used to more modern cars or something else entirely. Thank you, sir. Split this into manual mode. Those shift lights up on the HUD. It's a nice touch. Brakes are nice and solid. Not a ton of feel through them though. But this car really inspires confidence because it's just so capable and such a rocket. It's like supercar performance with the practicality of a four-door, take your whole family, and with the all-wheel drive system, it's still rear bias, so you get that playful nature. It'll still step out on power, but then the front wheels being driven will help claw you out for grip and make sure you don't get in too much trouble. BMW really doing an awesome job in engineering and tuning this car, at least when it comes to performance and confidence. The Monoball's helping with the extra communication as well. The car still feels numb, but you get a little bit more from the chassis. Steering incredibly direct on the lighter side, and not very much feedback. Just a hint of something there. Love that Jeep cutting the double mustard to shorten things. And see, when you're not pushing it, the shifts, even in the more aggressive settings, are perfectly smooth. Let's put the brakes back into comfort. Also the steering into comfort. Sometimes with these BMWs, I've noticed when you go to the lighter steering setting, you actually get more feedback, and when you go to the sportier, it weightens it up too much and mutes a lot of the communication. Oh man, I wish the steering wheel was talking to me a little bit more. Loading up mid-corner, there's none of that. There's only a little bit of road texture. But God, this thing is just so capable. How is something 4,000 pounds this agile? Good Lord. Absolute missile. And I totally get the appeal of a car like this because you have the practicality, the insane face-ripping performance. And it does everything correctly by the book. Very German in that way, that they had an assignment, they completed the assignment. But the issue I have with the G80 M3, even with these mods that add a little bit more sound, a little bit more theater, a little bit more communication, which is good. It's a step in the right direction. But there is still an issue with this car, which is that it is so digital. And I've talked previously about how out of the 6 generations of M3, they went from analog to digital and old school to modern. So these are the 2 variables, right? So the E30 and E36 were both old school and analog. You had so much feel from them, but also longer throws, very old school in terms of the inputs, right? The overall feel of the car as you communicated with it and the way it communicated back, very much old school in that way. Then you went to the next generations, the E46 and the E9X. And there you had modern but analog. So no longer did you have the old school, like long throws, really slow steering ratio, long, travel to the pedals and all that stuff. It felt more modern, but it retained that level of communication, that analog nature. And then you went to the current gens, the F80 and now the G80, and there you went modern and digital. And now we began losing a lot of the communication, the feel, the things that we love as driving enthusiasts. And don't get me wrong, these cars are incredibly impressive from an engineering perspective. Insanely fast, insane performance, and especially the G80 feels more planted, more sure-footed, inspires more confidence than the F80, at least stock versus stock. It's almost like they first tried out the modern digital recipe with the F80, didn't quite hit the mark, although you can modify it so that it definitely is phenomenal, as we've reviewed some other examples previously on this channel, like below. But then in the G80, they perfected that formula, at least in terms of performance, and give you greater confidence. The suspension tuning, the rear end not feeling as floaty, all these things help you drive the car a lot harder. And it really handles its weight in such a miraculous way, truly. You can sense that it's a heavy car, but it still dances and plays in corners and brakes and accelerates, not like a 4,000 pound vehicle. That's modern technology and engineering for you. So yes, if you are in the market for a single dual duty vehicle, you can track it, you can daily it, you can take the wife and kids places. The G80 M3 at the price point is hard to beat. You get insane performance, you get the practicality, but I just wish I got a little bit more communication, a little bit more feel. I don't just want to feel G-forces. I don't want to just feel the sensation of speed as I'm pushing it and being amazed by the prowess of BMW engineers in terms of lap times, performance. I also want to have fun, even going slower with the car. The way the car speaks to me, I communicate to it, asking it something, and it tells me something back. That's what's missing here. Again, the modifications, the monoballs, the exhaust mods, the tunes, all these things help push it in the right direction, but underneath it all, it still feels digital. But my friends, let me know what you think of the G80 M3. Do I have it wrong? Is this the greatest M3 ever? Or, like me, do you prefer the E46 and the E9X? Let me know with a comment down below. Big shout out to the owner for letting me review his G80 M3 xDrive Competition. My friends, if you want your car reviewed, visit us on jabalandcars.com, fill out the form on the homepage, and I'll see you all in that next one.